Total Financial Solutions, Safer Money Hour. Hey, you are in for a treat. Look, every week we come to you at this time talking about your family's finances, of course, getting out of debt, managing money, planning for the future. But let's focus on one part of that. When we say future, what does that mean to you? It means the chance for you to, what? Pursue happiness, life, liberty. Does that sound familiar? Well, there's only one group in the United States that makes that happen. And it's our military, isn't it? We just came from celebrating an amazing Veterans Day. It's funny to me when you look at all of the NFL players, right? And they were talking, oh, we're not going to take a knee out of respect for our veterans. Well, that just changes the whole conversation, because wasn't that what we were saying before? So you can't have it both ways. You can't say, I'm going to not do it for respect for our veterans and our service members, and yet on the other side, we're going to do it. So remove that controversy for a minute, because men and women, black and white, Republican, Democrat, progressive, conservative, it doesn't matter. Those men and women are serving overseas. And there's an amazing organization. It's called For the Troops. And joining me is a gentleman who is a volunteer for the organization, in fact. And Tony, one of the things that I've noticed For the Troops is they are a very large organization for what it does, and we'll get into those details, but zero expenses. So tell me about that.
Well, I'm not sure about zero expenses, but what we have is an organization that is 100% all volunteer. No one makes a dime. No one makes any salaries of any kind.
Yeah, that's where I'm going with it.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it's been around since 2006. And since 2006, we've sent slightly over 185,000 We Care packages to deployed military around the world, predominantly in hostile zones. But these are packages of goodies that just make them feel really good.
And you are a local organization, meaning right here in Southern California, serving folks from all over Santa Clarita, Simi Valley. Simi Valley is where you're headquartered, but the organization serves people everywhere.
Oh, yes. We don't have any limits to where we're sending the packages. If we know that Specialist John Smith from XYZ Battalion in the Marines or the Army or whatever is deployed somewhere, Afghanistan, Iraq, whatever, we're likely to send not just one box to him, but a box to his entire platoon, so 50 of them.
Wow. And I've noticed that For the Troops is an organization that has internal passion, because a lot of the folks there have kids or spouses that were serving, or some of them still are serving. And so there's a little bit of a connection there. And folks, one of the reasons that I want you to know about this is because November 18th, downtown Old Town Newhall is going to be having the tree lighting ceremony. You're able to come to Total Financial Solutions. We're right next to the radio station. We're going to have a booth, table. I want you to bring items to help our service members. Your dollars, if you say, listen, I can't bring anything, but I want to donate $5, $10, we'll have the ability to take those dollars directly to For the Troops, because the one cost, if you will, is postage.
The biggest cost. 100% biggest cost that we have is postage.
It's incredible, because For the Troops is an organization that serves our men and women, and yet the Postal Service doesn't have a program in place that allows them to donate. I'm sure there's politics and all sorts of other things behind the scenes, but...
Well, we've even tried to get our politicians to get them to waive it, and they can't, they won't. It's understandable. They can't say, well, for this organization and this cause and that cause, they will waive the fees to deliver the boxes from our warehouse in Simi Valley to the APO in New York. They just can't do it. So it costs about $15 per package.
So $15 per package, and that sends a fairly large box, considering it's, maybe 6 or 8 inches tall?
About 6 or 8 inches tall, and maybe 12 to 14 inches
square, basically.
Yeah, it's a pretty good sized box. And everything that goes into the box is donated.
So tell me about that, because that's pretty funny. It's pretty funny when I toured this facility in Simi Valley last week. Mm-hmm. there's an interesting system, but give me some of the general stuff that goes in the box, because I think a lot of folks are going to be surprised.
Well, first of all, to be really specific, they should go to our website, www.forthetroops.org, and you'll find there a wish list of items that have been created over the years by the recipients, by the men and women that are out in the field. And you'll find things like lip balm, you'll find things like baby wipes, you'll find chewing gum, writing instruments, People magazine, Sports Illustrated, all kinds of stuff, men-oriented, women-oriented, and those are the items that we ask people to donate.
So let's think about this for a second. I just go down to the store when I'm out of lip balm. That's not a big deal. Why can't they do that?
Because they don't have a store down the street. There's no 7-Eleven in that godforsaken little village in Afghanistan where they're deployed right now. So there's not even a PX. So
which is like a mini grocery store, or
it's where the military people go to buy their normal things when they're at home or in an established army base in Germany or Japan or wherever. But they don't have that in the field, out in a hostile area. They just don't exist.
So the packages and the wish list is provided to you folks. You guys can go out, pull this down, forthetroops.org. Come by here at November 18. In fact, if you happen to be here anytime this week, you can drop it off at Total Financial Solutions. We're here from 8 a.m. at least until 6 p.m. Drop it off at our office, the official drop location and table that you'll see set up and all of that, with a sample of the box. So you'll get a chance. We have a sample of the box that will show you what goes inside of it, because it isn't just lip balm and baby wipes. Tell me why we have socks in there. You would think the military would pay for socks.
Well, they do, but you can never have enough. They may have 6 pair of socks, but they haven't had a chance to wash them in a month. Now you send them a couple of pair of nice warm socks, they love you.
Yeah, it changes.
And you have to see, you can't show it on radio, but I have here a thank you letter that came from one of the troops. And it's so heartwarming to hear them say, "Oh, thank you, I can't believe that people still remember us." And our thought process is, I can't believe that anybody doesn't remember you, because you are America's true heroes. You and the first responders, you're our heroes. And to think that you have to thank us for the things that we're giving you, we're a grateful nation. And it just warms your heart to get these things, but it also breaks your heart that they have to be there.
Yeah, folks, ever since we were a nation, we have had a military, and ever since we became a country that's a world power, we have to send men and women overseas. The USO is an amazing organization. It's designed to service men and women overseas and provide them with the sense of comfort. Mm-hmm. That's great. But there's sometimes things that you're in the middle of these forward deployed bases, and these forward deployed locations don't have snacks.
No, they don't.
They don't have candy. One of the things that's amazing to me is how the extra Halloween candy, folks, bring it from your children. They don't need all that candy. We are going to accept any type of candy that you have. Chocolate is great as well, because now that it is not 120 degrees, right, we can send chocolate in these boxes. But tell me how you put the candy in the box, because I think that's a pretty fun spot.
There's literally an assembly line, as I'm sure you witnessed when you were there, and you start at one end of the room and you get to the other end of the room, and it's a fairly good-sized room for a donated space, if you will, and each way along the way they take a few pieces of Q-tips and they put a few pieces of gum and some all the way through until you can't put anything else left in the box, and then they seal it and put a label on it.
One of the most interesting things to me, as they're going along and they're putting in this, pre-described things, the box itself, forthetroops.org, guys, forthetroops.org, the box itself, they don't let a stitch of air go out.
No.
They take candy and they shake it and they throw it on the top and they move it around. So even though it has its prescribed amount of chocolate and chewing gum or whatever, they add even more on top of it. And I understand here's the reasoning why. When you're in the middle fighting, and of course, I've backpacked and camped and have had a few days without a shower, and you're not a real pleasant person to be around, and usually you're eating generally bland food. I mean, maybe it has salt, of course, but the real flavor, if you can have a piece of chocolate, you forget how important that is. And I'm just saying, I was gone for 2 or 3 days a week. These men and women sometimes are out in the field for a month plus.
Yes.
To taste chocolate, to get a chance to have a candy. It sounds so darn silly for us that are sitting at home with a bowl full of chocolate and candy from Halloween.
When you think about the American servicemen and women, they don't think of themselves as heroes. They don't think of themselves as sacrificing. They're just doing their job. God bless them. And so, yeah, chocolate's not part of the rations that they get. So that when they get a little piece of something special, they really do appreciate it. And it does remind them that there are people at home that love them.
We're going to have a booth, folks, November 18th, right here in Old Town Newhall. The tree lighting ceremony, the table with some banners, going to give you some samples. But I'm also having set aside some cards. We're going to have some paper, some coloring pens, and I want you to write a note to the troops. These are men and women you're never going to meet, most likely. They're men and women that could be from any part of the United States or even beyond territories that are serving in the military during this time of war. I mean, we've been in war for 17, 18 years now, guys. This is not a new, fancy, sexy war. This is pretty darn serious, and it's grinding it out, and they're going to be there for a while. Come by November 18th. Have your kids write a little note. Thank you, men and women. And so I'm providing a bunch of paper and pens, and I want you guys to write a note.
And they love getting letters, especially from kids. They really do. The kids are innocent,
Yeah.
and they'll ask them questions or they'll thank them or something, and it warms their hearts. It makes them feel good for at least a little while.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And remember that when you're out there, it's not as if you're getting a paycheck and you say, okay, next month I'm going to spend this money. I'm going to buy a new whatever. You're getting a paycheck. It's deposited in some bank account somewhere. It doesn't mean you can spend a penny. You're in a place where there's very little ability to have commerce. So sometimes the men and women will do trades. Now, my understanding is if you and I are on the front line and we get a box of stuff and I don't need an extra pair of socks, or I have enough Q-tips. And folks, Q-tips are not used like you and I might use them to clean our ears. They're used to clean their weapons.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's a trade that takes place. And so a lot of these men and women on the front lines might say, hey, listen, I don't need this, but I would like that from you. And they can have a little bit of bartering going on. It's kind of nice.
Absolutely, yeah. It's really cool. And you think about, why did these people join the military? They didn't do it for the travel benefits. They didn't do it for the great uniforms that they were given for free. They didn't do it for the food. They did it for a very deep sense of patriotism and love of country. And they represent 1% of the population. The entire military, 1% of the population, protecting the 99% that kind of take them for granted from time to time. So that's why these drives that you're doing and that are taking place on the 18th are so important, that we get the chance to give back. We as the people back here, back home, have the chance to give back.
185,000 care packages have been sent out, and we are speaking with For the Troops Representative Tony. Tony, pronounce your last name for me.
DiRaimondo.
DiRaimondo. That's just as it's spelled. DiRaimondo. Tony DiRaimondo is doing a couple of things for us, folks. He's a volunteer with the organization, because everybody is. They do not have expenses when it comes to personnel. Even the facility where they distribute, I think it's a gentleman that owns that shopping center.
He owns the shopping center.
It's a huge shopping center. This is a shopping center, and he donated a storefront that could be bringing in thousands of dollars a month, I'm sure, for him. And he donated that space so that For the Troops can operate. And those packages are, think of it like a serpentine set of tables, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's lined up.
Yep.
And does the person, now I came after hours, meaning that they were done loading for the day, and I think they had said, oh, we had only done about 260 boxes today, something. I'm like, are you kidding me? Only?
Only.
Yeah, 260 or so boxes went out that day, and they're shipped in the back, and post office comes in with a large truck, takes these cases away and brings new containers, and off we go for day number 2 the next day.
That's right. That's right. And very often you'll have individuals will come in who are with companies, like I think of Farmers Insurance because they always seem to be there. They will come in with anywhere from 5 to 35 people that just fill boxes that day.
Nice.
Or they'll make up different things that are assembled and go in there, and they'll go right down the line with their box, filling it up, and
So
get to the end and start over again.
yeah. So does the person follow the box, or does the box shift down the line?
Person takes the box
So
all the way through.
So that box was held, assembled by one human being, all the way through.
Probably more than one.
Okay.
But yes, all the way through the process, and then it goes through the sealing
Yep.
machine.
Sal takes care of that. I met him. He's a wonderful guy.
Yeah. All that packaging material is all donated to us.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Evelyn is an amazing person, folks. If you get a chance to
Great
meet,
negotiator.
yeah, she is. You get a chance to go and meet For the Troops. It's in Simi Valley. We're doing a drive right here, boxes that are going to be filled with the items that you can drop off and donate. Tony, let's go over a list of some of these items because we're going to see that some of them we may even have just at home. But if you're going to be shopping in the next few days, getting ready for Thanksgiving, running to the grocery store, pick up 2 or 3 things. You can drop them right here to the radio station. My office is next door, Total Financial Solutions. Just bring them over to us. Or you can wait and bring them on November 18th.
One of the most popular and most necessary are baby wipes. So if you're in Costco, go over by their Kirkland brand baby wipes. Pick up a case. It costs you $20. No big deal.
Amazing.
And that has 900 baby wipes in it. And I don't remember how many individual packages it is, but we'll put one package in every box.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there's a handful of baby wipes in each package. And what's the purpose? Yeah. Why would a tough and rough soldier in the middle of Afghanistan or the northern regions of Iraq or Syria?
You said it before. There's no showers out there.
Yeah, there isn't, is there?
And they use them to clean their weapons as well. So between cleaning themselves and their weapons, baby wipes are a hot commodity.
They go a long way, don't they?
They go a long way.
Guys, forthetroops.org. That's www.forthetroops.org. Let's say you're somebody who says, I've been blessed this year. Whether it's the stock market is up or your job, and you say, I just want to make a donation. Let's make something really clear. It's about $15 per package, $15 and I think 60 cents or something. But $15 per package. Do the math on that. You want to make sure that 10 of these packages get out. That's $150.
Right.
ForTheTroops.org, For the Troops is a nonprofit, meaning you can donate and receive a tax write-off.
Correct.
So if you're down that road and saying, I need a 501c3 to be able to put money in, no problem, you can do that. $150 sends 10 packages off to our troops. How about you sponsor one day? In other words, all of the packages that go out today, all of these boxes, these aren't small boxes. You say, I want to donate so that 100% of the boxes that go out today, you can help pay for it. Let's say it's 200. We just do the math on that, folks. It's $300, $3,000.
Right there. 2,500 gets you.
2,500 will ship 167 boxes. $3,000 will get about 200 boxes out there. The entire day. So how do you guys decide who gets these boxes? I mean, obviously, there's more than 250, 300 men and women serving.
It's, I won't say it's a secret or a mystery because it's not, but it is closely guarded how we get the specific names and the specific mailing addresses for the troops, and we don't share that with anyone. But as I said earlier, if we know that a person in a platoon is in a given location, we'll send enough boxes for each person in that platoon.
For the entire
generally
platoon.
40 or 50 people.
Wow. Yeah. So this is what I want you to do. If you have friends, family serving in the military, and you want them to receive one of these packages.
Let us know.
Yes, come to For the Troops. Can they go online and send an email to you guys?
Sure can.
Okay. You give the entire address, name, the stuff that's needed, right? Because it's a little bit different when you're sending to the military. You have an FPO or an APO address. APO, yeah. Goes directly to the base, and then the base puts it on C-130 jets or C-130 airplanes and ships them off. Why that matters and why that's a big deal is because you might only have one person, as Tony was saying, serving. The rest of them will get it, but they'll all be addressed to that one person. So if you have Joe Smith and he is serving in one platoon and there's 40 people, Joe Smith will get 40 boxes, one for himself and the rest. Now, sometimes they go through the religious leaders, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Chaplains will receive a large supply. First sergeant will receive a large supply. Command sergeant major will, and it all gets distributed.
And just guess how popular Joe Smith would be, your friend, your family member, when they say, "Hey, everybody, come on over to my tent, and I have 40 boxes to distribute."
That's right.
Kind of a nice thing, isn't it?
Mr. and Ms. Popular.
Yeah, that's right.
And then when the gals receive the female-oriented boxes, they are just in heaven.
Yeah, that's the other part of it. When you say, "Hey, I have 40 people serving," how many are men, how many are women? And they'll say, "Oh, 6 and 24, whatever it is." Then the women receive their own special boxes.
Correct.
And they're marked, they're designated. So when it is received, those are set aside specifically for the women in the platoon or in the squad or whatever it might be. We can donate specific items or money, both
Yes.
things, because sometimes you just don't have enough items and you guys have to go out and buy it. For the Troops goes to the Sam's Club or the Costco's or the
Correct.
Smart and Finals and walks in and says, "We need to buy 500 of these."
Correct.
Yeah. So money goes a long way as well, guys. I don't want you to think this is the end of the year. There's a lot of organizations asking for your dollars. Our military veterans have really been picked on a lot, and you can see it with the whole NFL controversy. Look at the stands. My gosh. Mm-hmm. There's men and women, and myself, count me as one of them. I've just decided I'm going to watch a lot less football than I used to. There are people that are suffering overseas. They had nothing to do with this, and somehow we think that protesting our men and women that serve is the right thing to do. It's your right, no problem. You can protest, but these men and women are still serving.
And I don't think these protesters are protesting against our individual
not against
Marines
the individuals.
and soldiers, and they're not doing that.
No.
And they have the right, and we're protecting that right.
That's
But
what blows
it
me
hurts.
away.
But it hurts.
It does.
When you're sitting out there and you're seeing this stuff, you say, "Why am I doing this?" But they know the real reason. It's because the vast majority they're doing it for, that's what they do.
That's right.
The Constitution doesn't give you rights. The U.S. military gives you rights.
Yeah.
Or protects those rights.
Yeah, the U.S. military protects the rights that you're given. My biggest concern for our men and women overseas is that they not be forgotten and not be disrespected. Otherwise we start circling back to the Vietnam era where those poor men and women that returned were called names and were not given the respect and honor. To see
Absolutely.
President Trump this last week in Vietnam, one of the gentlemen that was with him in Vietnam happens to be right here, Bill Reynolds.
Mm-hmm.
And he was one of the 7 men standing behind President Trump. So we can't wait to hear from his report. I'm not sure if he's back yet, but Bill Reynolds is a very prominent veteran citizen right here in Santa Clarita, and it'd be interesting to hear his perspective when he was there. Folks, we can get some high-profile military representatives. That's nice. But what if you took your children and you sat down and had each of them write 2 or 3 letters?
That would be great. Troops
Thank you
would
so
love it.
much. Give a little story. Why does it matter? I don't care if they're 6 years old or 16 years old. They can write a little story, and you can drop it off right here at the radio station. Drop it off next door at Total Financial Solutions. We'll make sure it gets in one of the boxes and for the troops. Is there any way for let's say I'm a kindergarten teacher and my kids want to draw something, or a 6th grade teacher and I want my kids to draw something or write a letter? Is there any way to get a response back to know which soldier received it or which Marine? Or
It's possible. It's really up to the recipient on the other end whether they write back or not. Most of them do. And the kids love it when they get a response, especially it goes back to the school and the teacher reads it in the classroom.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And so it's great for both sides, but it really is up to how busy are they? What can they do? In most cases, they're not in immediate hostile fire areas today as they were a number of years ago. But that said, we're still losing troops. We just lost a Simi Valley native last week.
Yes.
My son was killed in Iraq in 2004, so I understand their pain. I feel their pain. And but kind of got off the subject a little bit. But yes, they will write back when they can.
And the men and women that are serving there, folks, I don't know if you've ever been hopeless, which means you lack hope. I've had parts of my life, probably like everybody, where you just feel like there's no direction, there's just no hope. And that one thing that somebody says, that one thing that somebody does, that extra little help that you get when nobody's really, when you're not feeling it, right? It changes everything. It makes your life better. You see a different perspective. You can bring that to the men and women serving. They may not be hopeless there. They have their brothers and sisters in arms that they're protecting and fighting side by side. No question about it. But they're not just fighting for each other side by side. They're fighting for the right for you to protest or not, go to school or not, work or not. They're fighting for your right in America for us to live. And all I'm asking is that you spend a few minutes, write a note, write a letter, drop off baby wipes, Q-tips. They repackage the Q-tips, and you guys do so because although everything else stays in its original package,
right,
except for the Q-tips, I noticed, because there's so many of them that the men and women can't carry that many or don't need that much, that many of them in such a short period of time. So they open them up, break them down, put them in baggies, and then distribute them that way. So everything else stays in its original package.
Yes.
forthetroops.org, www.forthetroops.org.
And look for the wish list.
Wish list is the key. We're going to continue with Tony DiRaimondo. We come right back. Gold Star Dad. On your place for news, talk, and information. This special edition of the Total Financial Hour. I'm Arif Halaby on your hometown station, KHTS. We'll be right back.
Drugs or alcohol abuse can tear a family apart. In Santa Clarita, just like everywhere else, it's an epidemic. The Way Out Recovery is here to help. Call them now at 296-4444 or visit them on the web at thewayoutrecoveryscv.com. The Way Out offers outpatient treatment for adolescents, adults, and family members. The Way Out is compassionate, caring, professional, and confidential. You and your family don't have to suffer any longer. Call the Way Out Recovery now, 296-4444, or visit thewayoutrecoveryscv.com and make an appointment. Asking for help is the first step.
Little Eye Leaders is the newest preschool in the Santa Clarita Valley. At Little Eye Leaders, our outstanding teachers lead with intellect, perspective, and heart. That means our programs provide a warm, nurturing atmosphere to meet the unique needs of each child. We believe that play is a powerful form of learning for young children. That's why our kids have every opportunity to learn through the magic and excitement of play. Parents, schedule a tour today by calling 303-0400 or online at littleeyeleaders.org.
If you're in danger of losing your home to foreclosure, you need an expert. Hi, I'm Rich Sherman with Alta Realty. I've helped hundreds of Santa Clarita residents save their homes completely for free. I've got just over 20 years experience and a loan modification success rate of over 80%. I can negotiate better terms with your bank and I can save your home from foreclosure. And again, we do this completely for free. So if you're in any danger, please call me today at 661-714-1400. That number again is 661-714-1400. I'm Rich Sherman with Alta Realty, and I'll be happy to help you save your home for free.
Your hometown station, KHTS.
This is your place for news, talk, and information, your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Hey, welcome back to the show, Total Financial Solutions Safer Money Hour. Hey, I wanted to wrap up this hour of the program, or at least this segment of the program, with Tony DiRaimondo, representing For the Troops, a place and an opportunity for you to come by, bring some items November 18th. It's the tree lighting ceremony where there's going to be thousands of folks. You got to come and see what we're doing right here in Old Town Newhall, the changes, the new restaurants, the new bars and clubs. It's an amazing opportunity to see what's going on right here in Old Town Newhall. And while you are here, I want you to bring some of the items that we think our military men and women need. Now, why do we say if we think? Because they tell us. They send us, hey, this would be great. Let's go over a couple, Tony, because this is important. forthetroops.org. You click on the bottom right, it'll say wish list. It'll give you an idea. Even if you have just one package,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
You look at like granola bars and the little oatmeal bars there, and little wrappers. They'll stay forever.
Yes.
And you put 2 or 3 in the box, and God, they love it.
Yes, they do. Here's one of the other things that I think is kind of interesting. And we just dropped off, I did last week, an entire box of paperback books.
Yes.
Now, think about this for a second. You're in the middle of a war-torn area. You have some downtime. What are you going to do? Go to the gym? Go catch a movie? No, because there isn't anything there.
Hey.
So what you do is you grab a paperback book and you read. And you trade it with your buddies. Hey, I'm done with mine. Great, I'm almost done. Okay, when I'm done, I'll switch with you. For the Troops puts a paperback book in each one of these boxes.
Right.
Crossword puzzles, Sudoku, keeps their mind active, keeps them involved. Sometimes we need to escape.
We do, and one of the things that's really popular as well, our biggest supply is People Magazine. Now, People Magazine is very popular here, and it's popular over there, and they don't care if it's a month old.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you're getting your People Magazine, instead of throwing it away or recycling it, stack them all together, and maybe once every couple of months, stop by our facility in Simi Valley. Be there before noon because it closes after that, and drop off your magazines, your comics from the newspaper, things like that. It all gets used.
Batteries. I want you to think about AA and AAA batteries. You would think the military would pay for and supply that. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they say, hey, this is all we have. Next supply is in 30 days. Well, tough luck.
And that same battery can power your own individual iPod or music device of some kind. And so, yes, batteries do go a long way. They don't have an outlet for them over there.
Hey, I want you to think about small jars of peanut butter and jelly.
Yes.
How exciting for you to receive that. I remember when we did a big hike, I don't know, it was probably a 20-mile hike or something with the Boy Scouts, and we had to stop along the way, and I found a package of peanut butter. It just looks like the old ketchup packages, but it was peanut butter. And that just made my day because we were able to walk and still on that trail, and right? So those kinds of things are just simple, but they make a huge difference. Beef jerky, no pork. For obvious reasons, if you're in a Muslim country, I think it makes it a little bit different of a problem. It's difficult to get it in country, difficult to do things. So stay away from that if you can.
No alcoholic beverages for the same reason?
Yep, no alcoholic beverages. Those guys certainly may want a beer or two along the journey, but they will when they have their free time, their downtime.
And you said an important thing when you said small jars. You don't want the big giant ones and feel, well, I'm going to give them a lot. Well, they may not fit in the box. So, the smaller sizes are better. Put a couple of them in, but...
Yeah, that's right. And remember this, also, part of it is they're going to be carrying this stuff. Their life, their bedroom, their bathroom, their kitchen, everything is on their back when they're hiking through some of these provinces. And that is important because if it's lighter, it's easier for them to carry. We want them to not take less ammunition. We want them to not take less medical devices to save someone's life potentially. So make sure that what you're giving them is in the most efficient way possible. And remember, everything is in its original package. So except for the Q-tips, right? Because they take those apart and they're not used for hygiene. They're used to clean the weapons. Other than that, the batteries stay in the battery packages, DVDs, CDs. Sometimes there are forward bases that have some electronic capability. Consider that. I want you to come by Total Financial Solutions November 18th. Right here in downtown Old Town Newhall. We happen to be right on Main Street next to the radio station. We're going to have a big red tablecloth on a table for the troops next to our office right on Main Street. You can't miss us. Bring us some of your old books. Paperback books. My kids love to read, so we bought a bunch of paperback books last week. Lip balm, toothpaste. If you have a friend or a family member that's a dentist, or if you're getting ready to go there, to the dentist, ask for those little toothpaste containers, right? Most of the time they're donated to them anyway.
Right, and they put little toothpicks in there, and they put floss and things like that, and a toothbrush.
And don't forget, we have women as well, female soldiers and Marines, an Air Force, and their job is to serve just the same, and so they have different needs, so consider that as well as you are putting together some things. All right, folks, I'm going to let Tony DiRaimondo go to another appointment. When we come back, I'm going to continue with For the Troops, ways for you to get involved, and some things that I think are important to think about now that Veterans Day is past, but your heart should still be in the right place when we come right back. Thanks again to Tony DiRaimondo, For the Troops. That's forthethroops.org. I'm Arif Halaby on Total Financial Solutions Safer Money Hour. We'll be right back.
The Santa Clarita Artists Association has a new gallery in downtown Newhall on 6th Street between Main and Railroad, right across from the Canyon Theater Guild. The gallery features our members' paintings, sculptures, and one-of-a-kind handcrafted gift items. Whether you're an art lover, buyer, or an artist wishing to join, visit our website at santaclaritaartist.org, come to our free monthly meetings at Barnes & Noble, or stop by the gallery. For upcoming events and exhibits, check us out at santaclaritaartist.org. We make visual art visible.
The most charming new restaurant is now in Santa Clarita. Marston's Restaurant has been a Pasadena landmark. Voted the best breakfast in California by the Food Network magazine. Now, discover Marston's new Santa Clarita location. Open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Marston's also has a fantastic catering menu that adds a delicious twist to any event. And they cater picnic dinners for that memorable romantic date. Experience Marston's on Newhall Ranch Road in McBean, or log on to marstonsrestaurant.com.
At Advanced Audiology, we know how important hearing is to you, your loved ones, your work success, your safety, and your ability to stay in the game. Most people won't admit hearing loss to themselves or others. We make it easy for you. Today's digital hearing aids come in a variety of styles, including invisible. All feature-rich, providing unparalleled hearing quality, wearing comfort, and automation that simplifies your life. Don't be fooled by our imitators. There's only one Advanced Audiology with the purple sign, next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
Kick off the holiday season with the festive Light Up Main Street celebration in Old Town Newhall, Saturday, November 18th. The evening is full of holiday performances beginning at 6 p.m. At 7 p.m., the City Council will turn on the lights and transform Main Street into a magnificent winter wonderland. Don't miss your chance to visit with Santa and Mrs. Claus and indulge in delicious food from a variety of food trucks. This year's event will exceed expectations by being bigger, better, and brighter. For event details, including parking and shuttle information, visit oldtownnewhall.com.
Santa Clarita Philharmonic has begun its season of free concerts. The SCP is a non-profit community-based volunteer symphony orchestra comprised of local musicians from throughout the Santa Clarita Valley who are dedicated to providing quality classical music for the residents of the Santa Clarita Valley. Like the Santa Clarita Philharmonic on Facebook or visit santaclaritaphilharmonic.org for more information.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top-quality musicals and plays. Located in Old Town Newhall, the CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go to canyontheater.org.
Remember when Mom would bake cookies and you'd sneak some raw cookie dough? Raw cookie dough is the best. And now you can get safe-to-eat raw cookie dough at Delicious Sweets and Treats at the Westfield Town Center Mall. Delicious Sweets and Treats raw cookie dough comes in several flavors like birthday cake, sugar cookie, unicorn, and everyone's favorite, chocolate chip. Not into the raw stuff? No worries. You can also get freshly baked cookies or buy the dough to bake yourself. Delicious Sweets and Treats near JCPenney's in the mall.
You've been assigned to plan your office party. Time to bring in the experts. AV Party Rentals is your go-to place for the most innovative holiday party ideas. AV's been planning Santa Clarita events from giant galas to intimate gatherings for longer than, well, since Rudolph was a young fawn. AV will turn your office party into a winter wonderland. See the latest holiday displays at Santa Clarita's favorite wedding, party, and holiday event rental store, AV Party Rentals on Newhall Avenue and at avpartyrental.com.
The Las Vegas shooting created awareness for all of us. Awareness to upgrade security at concerts. Awareness for clearly marked exit signs. Awareness on how to evacuate safely. And awareness to have tighter hotel security. The law offices of Owen Patterson Owen are working diligently with Las Vegas victims to prevent future tragedies from occurring, as well as protecting the rights of Las Vegas victims to receive financial assistance for their ordeal. If you know someone impacted by the shooting, visit opolaw.com. That's opolaw.com.
I listen to it all day, every day.
Hometown. Your hometown station.
Thanks for listening to your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS. Hey folks, welcome back to the show. I'm Arif Halaby, Total Financial Solutions Safer Money Hour. Yeah, you've been listening to a special edition that we've had here for thetroops.org, forthetroops.org. It's an organization that puts together these care packages. You've probably seen, there are various ones of them out there. This is the only one that I know of where all of the personnel donate and volunteer their time, meaning zero, nobody gets paid there. The only expenses are something very simple, and that is what? Postage. Now, occasionally they have to buy supplies because you and I are not donating the supplies. Sometimes organizations do, sometimes companies do, sometimes manufacturers do. That's extremely appreciated and put to great use. But sometimes there just isn't enough of one particular item. Maybe there's a request for a lot more peanut butter. Now remember, if you know somebody that's serving overseas and you have a platoon or a group of men and women there, let us know, let For the Troops know. When you let them know, you say, here's the address, here's the person. There's 26 people in his platoon. 7 are women, the rest are men. They put together customized care packages for each gender. It's received in country, distributed, and it goes a long way to making them feel like they belong, like they're important, like they are a part of something back at home. In other words, there's a connection. So come by November 18th right here in Santa Clarita. For the Troops is headquartered out of Simi Valley, but there are plenty of folks right here in Santa Clarita that donate, that serve, that volunteer their time in many different ways. Donating money, it's a 501c3. 501c3. Consider donating money for the troops. Okay. Hey, I want to read you something here. I hesitate to read, but this is kind of important simply because I want you to hear what was received just recently. Simply because occasionally the troops are able to write back. And they let you know what actually is being done and the appreciation they receive. We know they appreciate it, but forthetroops.org is an organization that does it without even sometimes ever getting a thank you from anybody involved. They just do it. Paula is the lady who founded and organized this. Great story. When you go to forthetroops.org, you can click on the link. It says, I've been at my assignment for approximately 8 weeks, and I've yet to receive any care package. Yesterday at noon, I got notification I had a care package. And she basically says, I was filled with so much joy. Not only was I extremely grateful because this was my first package, but because it had so many amazing things. All of the amazing snacks, the moisturizer that was vegan, right? As if that matters to some of us. It doesn't, but to her it did. All the encouraging notes, the toothpaste, separate notes all together. Do you see that? Things that you and I go to the cupboard, we open up the cupboard, we take it away. All of the troops are so blessed to have people like you. You guys bring us joy and encouragement while we are far from our loved ones. Just like you said in your letter, thank you sounds so trite, but I honestly don't know how else to express our thanks and gratefulness to you. Here's a P.S. This is kind of fun. Anne Marie Lopez. All of the snacks were so amazing, but it was way too much for one person. So all the girls in my tents are also so grateful and happy. Right? That's what we do when we want to give back. So For the Troops. Hey, let me tell you about a gala that's coming up. It's exciting. For the Troops is having a gala. This is February 24th, so a couple months out, at the Ronald Reagan Presidential Library. February 24th, single ticket, it's $125. Yeah, some of that is going to be donated directly to help buy care packages to pay for the postage. Small handheld travel sizes. I want you to know our for any kind of games, our troops have some downtime reading paperback books. Bring your extra books. The paperbacks are better. Here's why. We need lighter books. They can't be super heavy and very bulky. They can't take up a lot of space. Plus, these folks, most of them still have all their eyesight, whereas I have to use reading glasses. They don't. So they're going to be fine with the regular paperback size books. Gum and candy. Magazines. You have some old magazines. Don't throw them out. Put them in a bundle. Bring them to us November 18th right here in front of Old Town Newhall. Cotton swabs, pipe cleaners, lip balm, toothpaste, anything that you can think of. Athletic socks. Go pick up athletic socks. A story recently from one of the soldiers serving said, I just want one pair of clean white socks. And when Paula was sharing with the story to me, it took me a second, and then I thought, oh yeah, when I backpack or camp, I like to return back to my camp, get into my tent, take off my stinky socks, and what do you put on? You put on that nice clean pair of socks. It's comfortable, it's clean, it's comfortable for you to sit down and relax. All right. Any non-prescription medicine? You want to buy that big packet of ibuprofen or aspirin, eye drops, sunblock, cold and allergy medicine, anything like that, folks, they'll take it for you. All right, let me give you an update here as we continue. The financial world, right? Something's going on with the markets. Today was not a great day for the stock market. Why? Nobody knows what's going to happen with the tax plan. You and I both are sitting there wondering if it's going to be passed, if the Senate and the House version, if there are going to be some big changes. There's some changes with Obamacare. Some folks now want to start pushing and repealing certain parts of it. How will that impact the overall economy? Those changes cause the market to be a little scared. Your pension, at least a big part of it, Social Security, some of it, may be invested in the markets. So protect your savings, protect your retirement, protect your assets, what you are working to save for, and keep some or part of that safe. That's what Total Financial Solutions is all about. Our job is to keep your money from going down when the market goes down. We're going to get reasonable returns. We're not going to get home runs. It's not what we do. We're going to get singles and doubles. To go back to the World Series, don't remind me it wasn't a great game when we lost, but it was okay. We got that far next time. In your financial world, you have to have multiple sources of income. You're ready to retire? I like to see 3, 4, 5 sources of income. 5 makes my life a little bit more relaxed. That are non-correlated, meaning if you have 5 sources of income when you retire, Total Financial Solutions' job is to kind of help figure out what that's going to be. We work with your CPA, your financial advisor. We work with your tax attorney. If you have a big enough corporation where we're worried about some of those things, we work with those folks. We get that data. We put what we can do back into the plan. We say, okay, here's what we can give you. Here's what the plan is. Here's on our end. And then they put it all together into a financial plan that gives you a guaranteed source of income where we're not going to lose the money when it goes backwards. We're not going to lose if the stock market goes backwards. We have a guaranteed steady stream of income that gives you peace of mind. You made some money recently in the market? Well, great. Let's take some or part of that and move it off to the side. Why? Because remember when 2008 came? How many of us would have said, oh, I just want a do-over. I know I've lost 40% of my income, but I want a do-over. I want to start over and get some of my money back. Scary for a lot of us, right? When we lost money. Our clients didn't lose a penny. They didn't. Why? Very simply, our clients didn't lose money because their retirement accounts were not in the market. So keep in mind that you want to keep some or part of your money safe. Retirement accounts, rollovers, those things are very important. You leave your company, it's time to take some of that money with you. Don't put it in your checking or savings unless you want to pay taxes or at least have it subject to income tax. But the other side of it is we can say, let's take some of that money, let's move it off to the side, keep it from the market going down, and figure out which account you want to never lose money again. That's what Total Financial Solutions is all about. keep in mind, we've just seen some fee increases from Raymond James and Edward Jones accounts. Why? I think they're blaming the Department of Labor ruling that came through. Now, maybe suddenly their life changed and they have to charge higher fees, but probably not. So we always have to say some of these companies, the Wall Street has really built in a way to never waste an opportunity to charge a fee and blame something or somebody else. We've seen that time and again. We saw it, the Republicans did it to President Obama. The Democrats are doing it to President Trump. We see it both ways. They never waste a chance to charge a tax, raise a tax, and blame something or somebody else. Well, your financial companies, your retirement companies are no different. There's no reason. Nothing changed for them. So watch yourself, because it took 6 or 7 years when the market peaked for us to lose that money and to come right back up to where we were just 6 or 7 years earlier. So the next decline, we need to protect some or part of your money. That's what it's all about. Let's keep some of that safe. All right, last thing I want to touch on here for you is to look at 2 things that could matter to you in retirement. Remember, number 1, tax-free income is better than taxable income. All right? You're like, oh, really? You have to actually tell me? Sometimes. The more money you can get that is in a tax-friendly or a tax-free way, when it's unpredictable what's going to happen with the retirement account, taxability of those retirement accounts, we just don't know. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen in 5 years. Now you're retired 15 years, and they say, oh, we're going to do another change in the tax plan. And maybe you're the person or the group of people that it impacts the most. So we have to plan and prepare for that. So number 1, keep in mind that the goal is to have some or part of your money tax-free. Roth, R-O-T-H, Roth IRAs do that. Roth 401ks, they do that. Let's defer these dollars, put them into a bucket so we never pay taxes on it ever again. Sometimes those formulas, those plans can work towards that formula. Secondarily, consider using certain types of cash value life insurance. Now, we're going to have an entire show on this in the next few weeks, but I want you to consider when you have life insurance as part of a retirement tool, as long as it's used for the right reason and in the right way, great. But sometimes it is misused, and we see this time and again when financial guys will walk in and they'll go through, put you in a plan or in a financial product or an insurance product, whatever, but it's right for them, not for you. So don't just follow into a line that says, oh, my cousin did it, so it must be right for me. No. Your money has a purpose. Every financial product has a good thing that it does. It does something really well. So use it for that purpose. Don't use it for the other reasons. Right? If you need pure life insurance, you buy term insurance. Least expensive. The most you can afford for as long as you can afford. That's usually the best way to go for a pure death benefit. That means you pass away, your family is there. But what I don't want you to do is to try to use products that are not built for certain solutions, and you're trying to fit that square peg into a round hole. Is that fair enough? Easy enough to understand? All right, that's going to be in the future. We're going to be covering life insurance in a future broadcast. Thanks for joining us. We're going to continue on Total Financial Solutions. You can go to our Facebook page. We're always there on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.